12th generation Toyota Corolla was launched in South Africa a couple of months ago, in fact during lockdown. And as with every generation of Corolla, it's grown a bit, it's grown up a bit. I'll tell you more about the growing up as we go along. But you have a look over here at the front. Look at these slimline headlights. They're certainly something else, aren't they? And the projection over there, daytime running lights, it's got all of those. It's got the split grille effect, down to a very low spoiler at the front. And I'm going to say to you, look at this front here. Don't you think it reminds you of luxury brother Lexus? There's something there that says Lexus to me on that front end. But you look over here, a lot of sharp angles at the front. Very sharp looking, very interesting. Lots of attention to detail, shall we call it. Come around over here. You've got really nice 18-inch mag wheels as standard on the car. You can see the two-tone mag wheels. Looks good, doesn't it? Very low, sleek lines. Overall, from a profile, probably looks quite similar to the previous Corolla, but there's still so many changes. Quite a sharp C-pillar at the back over here. And you pop round, of course, open up, and that is a nice, big, deep boot space, isn't it? Really impressive boot space. Over 400 litres of boot space. A very thin, flimsy boot board over there, I was a little bit surprised to notice. And then you got the toolkit there, and you got a space saver spare wheel right down at the bottom. Nice and neat the way the toolkit's done. But that's a little bit. Anyway, it's in the boot. I don't think you care that much. Close the boot over here. And what you must take note of is the fact it's the XR model, which means it is the top of the range. Very, very nice, deep diffuser spoiler down at the bottom over there to a little single exhaust pipe. Not serious. What Toyota have done with the Corolla, I mentioned it before, is they've gone up market. And I'll say a lot more about that fact. The new one, there's only 3 models in the range. One powered by a 1.8 base model, the next 2 are powered by a 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine, no turbo, 125 kilowatts, 200 newton meters of torque. Put down through the front wheels by a CVT automatic gearbox, but it's Toyota's excellent CVT, no complaints there. You can see it's got bigger, it's grown up, and there's a lot I'll say about that once we're in the driver's seat. Behind the wheel of the Corolla, you can see very neat, interesting coloring to the instrumentation. Blue at the moment, and I'll tell you now, you hit the sport button, it goes red in the background. So it's pretty neat, looks pretty good. I quite like it, I have to tell you that much. So that is a nice little feature on the car. Well, let's look over there at the numbers as always. And for this test period, I can't show you an exact number right now, but we've done about 400 to 500 kilometers on the test. And look at that, 6.8 liters per 100. Let me tell you that that has included more than my usual town driving lately. It's been a lot of town and 1 open road cruise. So take that into account. You've got your full instrumentation I mentioned. You've got your full multi-function steering wheel, including cruise control. You've got flappy paddles, even with a CVT gearbox. Unusual, strange, I don't know, but anyway, they're there. I can't say I ever use them. You know the story on those. You've got all of those features, very, very neat, very nice. There's something over here on the door panel over here, on the driver's door panel. You do have the buttons, obviously for the windows, and the lock and unlock for the car. And I did notice one thing, no auto lock and pull off. Well, I don't know, some people give it, some people don't. Up to you, but I'll just mention it that I do prefer to have it on cars that I'm driving. You come across to the nice large infotainment screen. There you can see I've got it on info right now. You can press the button and you go home, which gives you can see the cruising range, etc., and your consumption, or you can go to the menu and that gives you over there. And for example, the apps. Now, probably me, but I must tell you, I got my phone to link very nicely and very easily, but there's a Toyota app that you have to link to then use screen mirroring or Android Auto. It's me, it's my age, I admit it, but I struggled. Let's leave it at that. But anyway, it is there, it works, and I'm sure with proper explanation on a good handover from a dealer, you would get all the info you need. Very neat climate control system over here. Let's talk the dashboard for a minute. You can see you've got this over here. You've got the screen that stands up slightly, not a problem. And you've got, of course, a sort of softish touch to the dashboard with nice stitching, but something the wife pointed out to me, and it probably needed a woman's eye. Note blue stitching there, black stitching there. Just strange. Let me leave it at that. A little bit different. I don't know the reasoning. Anyway, just something, as I said, that the lady pointed out and I thought I'd mention. You come down over here, you've got your gear shift over here. I said to you it's a CVT gearbox, but Toyota CVT is excellent. I have no complaints with it in operation. And behind the wheel, of course, you've got buttons. Behind the shifter, you've got buttons to switch off the traction control and a sport mode. We used that when we did go on our open road cruise, and I must say, pretty effective. Pretty nice, and it does give you a nice little kick over there as well. And again, below the gear shifter, you've got your electronic parking brake and a hill hold if you do need it. So you've got all of those features, all really nice. You've got 7 airbags, you've got all the safety you want. You know you're getting all of those features as well. Decent headroom, lots of legroom in the back, and in XR spec you get the leather with a suede type cloth trim with nice striping. It looks pretty effective and very neat. You've got Isofix fittings in the back seat as well, and tons of legroom, especially when I'm driving. So you get all of that. I mentioned the engine, the 2-litre naturally aspirated, 125 kilowatts, 200 newton meters. Certainly enough for cruising all day. Got enough in reserve to overtake. It does it all. It's, in that way, a typical Corolla. But this is where I'm going to come to my little bugbear. Again, I'm going to belie my age over here and say to you, the Corolla in my book was always a relatively basic car. Value for money, reliability, reasonable performance. Okay, there were 1 or 2 special models that gave extra performance, but the standard ones, those were all a given when you bought a Corolla. I tested the Quest recently. You can see the video as well on my channel. And somehow in my mind, the Quest is where I remember the Corolla. This one, I said to you in the beginning, that front grille reminds me of a Lexus. This one feels to me like a baby Lexus. And that's no complaint or negative. It's a compliment. They've taken the Corolla, they've lifted it up a few more notches, and they've taken it to a level where the ride, the handling, the comfort, the smoothness, just the cruising ability, or the ease around town, are just a step above where I have always perceived the Corolla. And what it has done, of course, is it has lifted the price. So this top-of-the-range model will cost you 433,000 Rand in today's money. And I can't help thinking to myself, minor changes to the body, a 1.8-litre engine instead of a 2-litre that puts out 104 kilowatts instead of 125, same gearbox, similar trim, not all the same, but similar, in the top executive version of the Quest, and I could save 100,000 Rand, which I would pay if it had a Lexus badge. Just the anomaly I'm seeing over here. It includes Toyota's 6-service, 90,000 kilometer service plan, so you get all of that and you get all of the peace of mind. You're looking for a medium-sized sedan in today's market, and that market sadly is shrinking all the time, but yes, you've got your contenders. You know the Mazda 3, you know the Honda Civic, they're there. But a Toyota is a Toyota and always will be a Toyota, and you need to make that decision for yourself. For Matters, I'm Eleanor. See you next time.